How's that for breaking news?
Tigress, Ramrod, and King Cobra, all whose true identities are unknown, are Dr. Abel Kubier's test subjects and loyal followers within the episode Splicers. Sadly, nothing is really known of their lives prior to becoming Splicers, and we truthfully don't get to see a lot of their personalities, which is why this video is going to be styled a bit differently. I was originally just going to be talking about Tigress, but seeing as she only talks 2 times throughout the entire episode, I figured it was better to just talk about all 3 of the followers. Now, like always, there might be, and not even might be this time, there will be skipping within the episode itself, but that's just for the sake of staying focused on our 3 villains of the day. So with that ever so brief summary out the way, let's dive right into Splicers. The episode begins with Chelsea showing off her new eyes after being spliced. Chelsea then hands out business cards from the Chimera Institute, suggesting others to go and try it. And this is where we'll do our first skip within the episode. After some time, Terry goes to meet Dana at the Chimera Institute, and while on the train, he encounters both Ramrod and King Cobra. This encounter goes to show how arrogant and aggressive they both can be. Ramrod breaks the TV, and King Cobra then tells the scared passengers that Splicers are the future and there's more or less nothing they can do to stop them. However, after a short brawl, Ramrod and King Cobra make their escape. As I said, this small encounter mostly just shows how arrogant and aggressive they both are. They truly believe that with their new abilities and form that they're better than the normal civilians and that they can't be beaten nor can their movement be stopped. So skipping ahead again, back at the Institute, Terry and Dana are going through the possible DNA that she'll be spliced with, and it's within this scene where we get our first look at Tigress. Unlike Ramrod and King Cobra, Tigress is much more composed. However, that don't mean she doesn't have a temper to match the others. She's just better at hiding it. And skipping ahead yet again, deeper in the Institute, Dr. Kubier is injecting Ramrod with more of the splicing serum. During this scene, we see Ramrod react to the injection with pleasure. What we can take from this, and something he says later on, is that Ramrod has a deep desire and hunger for power. And would you look at that, we're skipping ahead again. After incapacitating Batman, Ramrod, King Cobra, and Tigress track down DA Sam Young, who's trying to shut down the splicing experiments, and the 3 splicers attempt to kill him. During this encounter, Ramrod makes a comment about how the commissioner is looking good. This implies that he's had run-ins with her before, however, because of his new look, she probably doesn't recognize him. Tigress then jumps into the conversation by saying she won't be looking good for long and then pounces on the commissioner. This goes back to what I was saying about her having a temper that matches the others. She may be more composed, but she still has an aggressive side that she enjoys to let out. After Tigress pounced on the commissioner, King Cobra grabs Sam Young and holds him with a tight grip, waiting for the order to kill him. Ramrod then tells King Cobra to break Sam Young in half, at which point Batman enters the fight. Once in said fight, Batman gets outnumbered, which causes him to start his transformation into Man-Bat. Oh yeah, forgot to mention, when Batman got incapacitated back at the Institute, Dr. Kubier injected him with Bat DNA. Vampire Bat DNA to be specific. After Batman starts to transform, Ramrod, King Cobra, and Tigress all make their escape. Would you believe me if I said we're skipping again? I know, right? Shocking. So anyways, Batman gets cured and tracks down the Splicers alongside Ace. At the hideout, Ramrod is being scolded by Dr. Kubier for not killing Sam Young. Soon after, Tigress is alerted by Batman's scent and the 3 Splicers prepare for attack. Once Batman enters the building, the 3 of them jump Batman with a coordinated attack. King Cobra then tells Batman that they could smell his human stench from a mile away. Now, I know I haven't said a lot about King Cobra, but that's truthfully because there's just not a lot to say about him. But with this comment, we can assume King Cobra views humans as trash, which is why he wanted to become a Splicer to begin with, so it would rid himself of falling in the same category as the humans he appears to hate. The fight continues with Ramrod and Tigress teaming up again to attack Batman. King Cobra then goes for the gun that has the cure for their splicing, but Batman intervenes, knocking him down and curing him right after. Tigress then hits Batman with a flying kick and rushes at him, however, Batman reacts and shoots her with the cure. Ramrod then asks Batman what he did to her, and after he gets his answer, he proceeds to tell Batman that he's not going back to being a nobody. This is what I was referring to earlier in the video, as this is the other moment that shows Ramrod's hunger and desire for power. He's become so attached to being stronger and faster that he no longer even sees being human as an option, simply because he feels lesser than others when he is normal, or human, if you will. However, before Batman can just shoot him with the cure, the gun jams and Ramrod rushes at Batman. Batman then flips Ramrod by the bull ring, which rips it out and is able to cure him afterwards. And now we're skipping again, but this will be the final skip that we take within this video. After Batman defeats Dr. Kubier, who I'll talk about eventually, the three Splicers, Ramrod, King Cobra, and Tigress, are all arrested. As I said in the beginning, there's not much known about them, so there's truly not much else to say. So now, we'll dive into their designs, 2 voice actors, and 1 voice actress. All of their designs are very, and I mean very, simple. What really brings their designs to life is the splicing that they've done to themselves. Tigress does have a more notable design, as it just looks better and goes with her theme. The same applies to King Cobra. Ramrod would probably have the weakest design, at least in my opinion. But seeing as there's not much else to say in this department, let's go ahead and move on to the 2 voice actors and 1 voice actress. Ramrod was voiced by Ice-T, who truly needs no introduction. But if you didn't know, he's a famous rapper and he plays Detective Odafin Tutuola on Law & Order SVU. King Cobra was voiced by Timothy Dang, who played Fu in both Full Metal Alchemist The Final Alchemy and Full Metal Alchemist The Revenge of Scar. And Tigress was voiced by Cree Summer, who also did the voice of Max Gibson. Cree Summer was also the voice of Venus in Scarface The World Is Yours, which I've done a story explained video on that you should check out. And Cree Summer also voiced Dr. Penelope Young in Batman Arkham Asylum. So huge shout out to all 3 of them. With all that said though, this has been the Supercilious plight of the Splicers. If you made it this far into the video, comment down your favorite Splicer from this group. I always love to hear y'all's opinions. Also, big thank you to Mercenary X84 for remaining a member for almost 3 months. I truly appreciate your kindness and support. So again, thank you. But with my ramblings finally out the way, it's been ugly, and I'll see y'all in the next one.